How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the AFC podcast. We're featuring a lot of filmmakers for these next few weeks of the Triborough Film Festival Season 3. Today, I have, his name is Patrizio. He's from New York, and his film is called Born in the USA. It's a little music video. He's got an IT background, and he's going to talk to us today about the journey of filmmaking and his background on working in IT, because right now, this is the first time in 30 years we could actually dedicate a full year off from work to focus more on his health and personal life. Pat, welcome, man. Good to see you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. A pleasure, honored to be here. Honored to have one of my videos selected. I couldn't have been more excited about it. Yeah, I mean, like I said, my journey started many years ago. In terms of right around the COVID times. That's when the lockdown started and I was locked in. Couldn't go to the gym anymore. I was like, you know what? Let me do my workouts outside. I started doing my workouts outside. I started filming myself. I was like, you know what? Let me do some filming. And over time, it evolved. I make 1 minute, 2 minute videos on my YouTube channel and Undercover Pops. That's how I'm known. UC Pops, Undercover Pops, because I started when my family didn't know I was doing it. So
Okay.
I called myself Undercover Pops so that no one had any idea what I was doing, But now everybody knows, so it
I was
doesn't matter.
wondering what that was all about when I saw that on your email. I'm like, all right, there's got to be something more to that.
Yeah, so Undercover Pops was like when I started filming, I didn't want my family, my two daughters who are teenagers, knowing what I was doing, right? Making them film myself on the street, whatever.
Yeah, sure.
But over time, I evolved, and there's one instrumental person that helped me do this. Her name is Valeria, and she's in Florida, and she helped me evolve through time through all my different videos. And Born USA was a brainstorming. Both of us were involved in this in terms of, she had the idea more or less of where to go. She helps me scout and everything. The outfits, the costumes are also hers. She guides, and she's very instrumental in me doing what I have to do. Born USA came because I was looking for a song, a good song for the 4th of July, American-made song, and what the song meant to me. So what I do is I pick a song. So first of all, I have a YouTube channel and it's not monetized. It cannot be monetized because these songs are not mine. But what I do is I take the song and I listen to the lyrics and I remix it or take part of it or personalize it to myself to make my own video. What I do is I take my experiences in life, all right? My last 30, 40 years, I'm almost 55 now. So I've had a lot of experience on this earth. And I take my experiences and I listen to the lyrics and I incorporate it into the video. So the motto of what I do is I tell lifelong stories without saying a word through creative videos. So I never say a word on any of my videos. I never speak. This is very rare you're going to hear me speak. But none of my videos I talk. None. After all, everybody talks. Right? We need less talking. Like who doesn't like to talk on social media? Everybody has something to say. Everybody's got an opinion and everything, right? It's like, come on, do we need more of that? No, we don't, right? So my way is saying my story without saying a word, just like the old silent films, right? But my movements, my outfit, the way I look, the way I feel, every clip, every second has a story of I'm actually telling a story, and it's up to the audience to figure out what it means to them, what it means to me, and so on. So Born USA started with giving thanks to immigrants. All right. My parents are from Italy and France. All right. So I was lucky to have been born here, but I left pretty early. I was like a couple of years old when we went back to Europe, but came back here in the mid '80s. And what this film is all, what this video to me means is the old generation came to this country and put the foundation down. They put down the groundwork. And now it's up to us to make it better and continue to the future, which is one of the symbolizations in the video. You see throwing the football, right? I don't know if you remember that part, but
Yeah.
so the old generation throws the football to the new generation across the river from Ellis Island. Okay.
Clever.
So that's like handing the torch, handing the baton to the new generation, right? Come on, make it better. I came here, we did all the groundwork. Now let's make it better and let's move on. So that's the foundation of the story. And between that, you have giving thanks to the American flag and honoring 9/11 with the memorials that were in New Jersey. Because it was a release on 4th of July. I wanted to show my gratitude to this country, how great it is, respectfully, and do it in a proper and good manner, right? So, which a lot of which unfortunately today lacks, right? There's a lot of stuff going on today that unfortunately, it's what are you gonna do? But so hopefully, this will give a good perspective on what this country really means, at least to me, and at the end, I commemorate with Saint Cabrini. Saint Cabrini is the saint of immigrants, and there was a movie early this year about her. So I filmed. I went to her shrine to film the ending for this video, showing that Saint Cabrini is always with us as immigrants, because she is the first American saint. She's the first American citizen to be a saint as well. So
Really?
yes. So Saint Cabrini, the shrine of Saint Cabrini is up in New York, and she is known as the saint of all immigrants. All immigrants. She came here in the early 1900s in New York, and she worked across all the U.S. to make orphans a better life for themselves. But yeah, very, very well known person. But the movie was very spectacular. Early this year, the movie came out about her, very, very well received. She's from Italy.
Not Saint Catherine?
No, Saint Cabrini, Cabrini.
I'm looking it up on IMDb. Like, who was in it?
Oh, I forgot. I don't have. Look for just do Saint Xavier Cabrini movie.
Oh, wait, The People's Saint.
The People Sing. I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Hold on. But it came out in 2017?
No.
So if it came out this year, it's just called Cabrini.
Cabrini. That's what. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. I
Yeah.
recognize this poster. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. Like I'm so focused on making
No. Don't.
films, and it's like
I mean, there's a lot of things myself. Like
it's like I can't even take a minute and watch some like really good movies that are out there. This being one of them, because it was very well marketed. It got across it came across my pages so many
The
times.
beginning was really, my goodness, the beginning was really hard, the beginning of the movie, but it made a good impression right from the beginning.
Yeah, it says after witnessing a disease and poverty in the slums of New York, an Italian immigrant, Francis Cabrini, embarks on a daring journey in pursuit of the hostile mayor providing housing. Wow.
Yeah.
So it's got to be up for an Oscar by now, probably, right?
I hope so. I mean, in Colorado, I think they renamed Columbus Day to St. Cabrini Day, I believe. I'm not sure if that's
Really?
I'm not sure because she was very, very big in Colorado as well. So I remember reading something about that. But yeah, so that's how that came out. And again, most of my videos are 2 to 3 minutes, and I shoot them vertically. Most of the time they're vertically. Why? Because I started my journey on Instagram, right?
Oh, so you just want it to be fit to format so you get views.
So because I started on Instagram, but when I switched to YouTube, I'm like, you know what? I like the vertical for what I do. I'm going to explain. Vertical for the things I do, which is like 2, 3 minute videos, because I do a lot of how can I say this? In my video, I incorporate exercise as well. Like when I film the videos, I tell the story, but at the same time, besides telling the story, I incorporate exercise. It might not look like it to you, but it is. For example, doing planks, doing pull-ups, hanging off a pole, jumping from one area to another. That takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of, you have to be in good shape to do a lot of the things that I do.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just listening. I thought
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
did you get was there any return from or any expectations from posting all these videos and getting feedback from the public or anything?
No, because you see, it's a hobby of mine, right? So,
Right.
very popular. A lot. The feedback is great, fantastic, and I'm thankful. Um, my YouTube channel has, I think it's over 70,000 subscribers now.
What?
Yeah.
That is sickly awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it's like I said, but and most of them are international anyway. I think they're all from different parts of the world, and so in terms of what do I get back? Just enjoy, and watch it, and I hope you enjoyed as much as I enjoyed when I was making it. There's nothing to it. I mean, I don't know. Like I'm lucky to to work, to have well, I had a job until this year. Hopefully, I think next year I'll go back to work. It looks like I'll be going back to a regular job. But like and while you're working, it's really hard to make videos. One video, listen to this. One video takes me 2 to 3 months to make, even though it's only 2 minutes.
Right.
Why? Because I have my friend Valeria. She's like my director. All right.
Mhm.
She lives in Florida, and I call her Valerianissima. She's a she is the instrumental reason how I evolved over time. Like she was always giving me ideas and making myself better. And like I started doing this, or why don't you do this? And she's so instrumental in also scouting for me. She's in Florida and she scouts for me in New York,
Oh, that's
right?
cool. Yeah.
Through technologies and all that, And the stories behind that I have, my goodness, it's like I got lost so many times. She would have to some. I used to go to forests. I used to go to in the middle of nowhere to film, and I'm by myself filming. I'm by myself, so she was so instrumental because I also rely on her with directions a lot of times. Like sometimes I'm in the forest for 4 or 5 hours. It's like, like my phone, whatever, right? So I'm by myself. I have a tripod, and it's me and my backpack. That's it. That's all there is. And so
Right.
when you by yourself filming, you do as many takes as you can. Like and it's also luck for Born in USA. All right. Now I bought the tickets for the ferry, right, to get onto the ferry to film myself. I'm hoping there's no one on it. Like, I mean, how do you plan that? Like,
Right.
this is not a studio where I could buy the whole thing and rent it out and make, no, I have to do it based on
Who's
that
it?
day, right?
Yeah.
That day. That's all it is.
Pure luck.
Pure luck and pure luck. There was no one on the ferry. I mean, there was nobody on the ferry. I was like, I couldn't gonna ask for this better. So I put the tripod there. I filmed myself in front of the Statue of Liberty, and couple of kids walked by a few times. So it didn't matter. I only needed a couple of seconds, and a
Yeah.
lot of the things, a lot of the clip, even at Ellis Island. I'm like, I gotta get there early because I wanted to film a lot of the historical parts of Staten Island, but I needed to film it so that it showed that it looked like back then, right? So
Yeah.
I couldn't film Staten Island with all the tourists there dressed in 2024, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I got there, I was the first boat to arrive. I let the first wave of passengers off, and there was no one there. I went in, it was completely empty. So I was able to film Staten Island keeps. There's an Staten Island itself has it's an historical landmark, and in the premises you still have the original seats, the original ticket agents, and how you say countertops, right? So you still have that all original. So my thing is like I needed to film myself around that without having tourists walking by.
I see. Yeah.
Because I was dressed apart. I was dressed for the 1920s, 1930s. I was dressed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I couldn't have, kids behind me walking by, like with shorts and
No, you want it to be. It was a period piece that you were in.
correct. So the period piece. That's where the filter came in.
With the black and white.
The sepia filter and all that came in.
Right. Right.
So certain shots needed to be that. So did that. Did a couple of shots also at the memorial where the flags are in Jersey, and that it takes a lot of traveling, right? It takes a lot, Uber, and in terms of financing the film, I was lucky that we're not talking about a ton of money, a Uber ride here, a Uber ride there, a subway ride over here, right? Bringing a couple of meals with you. So we're not talking about amazing amount of money, but you always wonder. You never know what's going to happen until you get there because nothing is planned. You're planning your script, you're planning what you're going to do, you're planning more or less because I've scouted those locations in the past. But scouting doesn't mean that it's going to look the same way it is when I do the filming, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you get very lucky, more often than not, with a supporting cast. And what I mean by that is an unofficial supporting cast. That means that you're using the people around you to help you make the shot.
Okay.
And these people are, you don't know if these people are going to be around you or not a lot of times, right? So you just go based on the script that you have. But a lot of times the supporting casts that's unofficially there, because they just happen to be there, helps make the shot even better,
Yeah.
So, so the filming for Born USA took about 3 months. I started in May. I finished it right before July. I also the ending was also filmed in my kitchen to give thanks to Saint Cabrini.
I see.
I don't know if you remember, but the ending was I went to the shrine to give my thanks to the saint.
Well, that was outside, right?
The Saint Cabrini shrine in New York. That's in a church, right?
Okay.
And her body is there. Her body is actually there. Her body.
Oh,
Yeah, it's actually on display, on a window display. So you can see her body. So I go there in the video, you see me for a second or two, kneeling, giving my respects to her. Then I go back home and I have a little statue of Saint Cabrini here. And I have my espresso, just looking at her and thanking her. That's how it ends, right? Through, from the beginning to the end, right? The ending it was dedicated to her, right? Because she is the immigrants, she is the saints of immigrants. So I want to dedicate that video to her as well.
That's really sentimental because even what made you pick, what made you choose a song "Born in the USA"?
I was talking with Valeria. I was like, the 4th of July is coming. I wanted to give thanks to this country, what it did for my parents, what it did for me, what it's doing for all the immigrants to give opportunities that other countries just don't. That's why we all come here, right? For a better life for our families.
Right.
And I was, like Born USA could be also interpreted in different ways. So I picked the first part of the lyrics. Like I said, my songs are only like a couple of minutes long. So I only picked the first songs of the lyric of that song so that I could give my own interpretation of what those lyrics mean, right? They may not mean the intentional, they may not have been meant intentionally the way I express myself, but that's how they mean to me, those first parts of the lyrics.
Okay.
So American flag, 4th of July, giving thanks to the immigrants that came here. I thought it all fit very well with this song and with the whole view that we had on this.
Gotcha.
Within under 3 minutes, I thought was very well done, and vertically as well. And I wanted to say that a point that I don't think I said is one of the reasons why the main reason why I film vertically is because what I do is also up. Like so because of the technology today has advanced so well, right, in terms of resolution for vertically. Like a vertical shot today, it's like a wide shot from just a few years ago, right? If you think about it, right? Right? So a vertical shot today, you get so much on your wide, but because of the things that I do, the stunts, I like to call them stunts that I do, like
Motion.
yes, I need the height. The
Yeah.
scaffoldings. I'm always on scaffoldings doing something, maybe a pull-up or two, jumping here, jumping up there. So I get a better angle and a better view of showing the top and the bottom because the width is almost irrelevant for those 2 3 minute videos because I get just as much width as I need to ever get. I don't need more than what I usually get because the resolutions of these phones today are fantastic, right? So
I
the
see.
height, the height to me is more important than the width for a
I
lot of
see.
the things I do.
All righty, that's cool.
So that's and the convenience of holding your phone like that, as
Yeah,
opposed
sure.
to like you think about it, like like I even when I just watch regular YouTube videos, I don't even bother anymore. Even though it's designed to be
Why?
widescreen, I just keep it straight and I watch it on a small part on top. I don't even bother going on the side anymore, unless I'm watching a game or something. That's different, right?
Yeah, it's a little different because it's not exactly a full screen because then the wide shot, it is a little bit different. And of course, cropping and posts are all squared now. Like there's different dimensions now of the shots that
Yeah.
you take, and it does. It kind of evolved uh, on how to frame a shot.
That's exactly it, and also, if anything, like if you want, you could technically like take a vertical shots that were filmed and making them into widescreen by cropping the center, right? You could really do that.
Good. It really, as long
But you don't get much of it, but you could still do it though.
well, I mean, our one guy, Clay, he has a 6K camera. So no matter where you're filming in the frame, he's capturing every single
Yeah,
square inch of that frame, and he could like
6K. That's wild, man. Yeah.
he could pull it right in and make it. He could capture
Yeah,
everything. He
yeah,
could pick and choose on
yeah,
each
yeah.
frame. That's something. 6K is that thing's a, that thing's good.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think the phones are what? Like, phones are 4K these days, right? These days,
But it can be like I think it's 1080p as well as 4K, and
okay, yeah,
you
yeah.
don't need much more than that. You just got to make sure you get it in frame and try to keep it. I'd say I'm a big. I always go to point 0 or point 0.5 on most of the things I do, and then I'll just zoom in if I wanted to
Yes,
the
yes.
highlight reel or
Uh,
something.
now, believe it or not, 100% of my videos are filmed with my phone.
I believe it.
With
I
my
do.
phone, with my phone. That's all I use is my phone. That's all I use.
You don't need much, especially for your style.
Yeah, yeah, for my phone. And point five, I like point five a lot. But I try to stick with one. But point five I use, I would say, you know what? I would say 50-50 point five I use and point one. Because with the point fives, that's great. But when you want to zoom in with the point five, it depends. If you don't get the perfect sunlight and all that, the clarity isn't there when you zoom in. Even with Final Cut Pro or anything like that, it's tough to zoom in.
Or you use 11 Pro Max,
I use the Samsung Galaxy.
9 or 10.
I use the 20. It's a 21. I use. It's still an old one. I have to update to the 24 now.
What year did that come out?
The 21 came out in 3 years ago.
21? Jeez, because I used to have a Galaxy 8 and that was fine.
Yes, they changed. I think after 10 they went to. I think they changed. They changed. It was 9, 10, but I think then they changed. They went into the 20s. I don't know. I don't know why, but 21, 22, 23. So I think not
Maybe it
24
was sort of
right
like
now.
the number two was an indicator where it's like the second generation or something,
Maybe.
or the second
I don't
wave or
know.
something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Does it have to be chronological? Like we need 17, 18, 19, 20.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You
I
know?
don't see how we're really going to improve that much for like what it's used for or what we need it for, because you got your email, check. You got video, check. You still a telephone, check. What else do you actually really need a phone for, you know?
No, but it's true. And if you think about it, today's phones, I mean, like you could do stuff with today's phones that you couldn't even do in Hollywood in the 1970s.
No, yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
You
Like,
know, I mean,
the
like
total iPhone
a
mix,
lot of the special effects and all that. My goodness, it's just a click. It's a click. You know, like it's crazy. Like
software, apps, things like that.
the special effects that they did in the 70s and the 80s to make what they had to make, the equipment that they needed. Hey, you do it in the palm of your hand. Just
Wow.
about the same thing. You could replicate it just about the same thing. You know, my only gripe, my only gripe with today's movies and today's special effects, I'm going to say this, is it looks fake. You know, you could have all that CGI stuff in there. Like for example, a lot of the movies from the 70s and the 80s, like Superman, Christopher Reeve, right? The first one, the second one, that looks that looks more real of a man flying than today.
I know how you mean.
You know what I mean? Like,
I do.
okay, you know, like, okay, fine, maybe not not for code, but the thing,
The playfulness in that is definitely still there, rather
you
than
know,
just like
like
sort of
today, it's like, you know, it looks when I look at it, it's like, yeah, he's flying, but I don't know, it looks like a comic book almost. I mean, like it looks like it
something's off,
something's off.
you know?
Something's off.
Yeah.
And that's why I keep I re- I almost never, I say almost because I've used it once for lightning on one of my videos, but I never try to never use any special effects because I just don't want to. Like if because a lot of the stuff that I do, a lot of the my accent sometimes gets in the way. A,
That's
a,
all right.
a lot of the I do a lot of athletic things, right? And I don't want to think I don't want the audience to think that I'm using the special effects to do what I did, right? So if my video has a lot of if my video starts having special effects in it, then me doing that pull up or jumping from here to there, they may think it's also a special effect, right? So when it's not, when it's a lot of hard work, practice, and it takes a lot of, sometimes I'm so exhausted, but just trying to take that one take, you know, and I still have like another 4 hours to go, you know, but yeah, it's, uh, it's a beautiful hobby. Definitely a hobby where you have to be in good shape to do because, like I said, I'm by myself. That's a lot of walking, a lot of carrying. All right, something I couldn't do just 10 years ago. I don't, a lot of my audiences don't know that. Even my subscribers don't know that. But I used to be 300 pounds
Jeez. Yeah.
10, in 2014, and
How tall are you?
I'm 6 feet, 6 feet,
All right, 300 pounds is still a,
and not
solid big
5'11",
dude.
6. And yeah, and you know, it was hard when you went to when you went to a store. Right? I used to go to the stores and shop for clothes, and you know, and I used to see so many things I liked, and I couldn't have them. Not because I couldn't afford it. I had the money. I couldn't fit in them.
Right.
You know, like you know, it's one thing if you cannot afford it. I cannot afford it, fine. But when you can afford it, but you can't fit into it, and it's right there for you, it's a horrible feeling. Horrible feeling. I used to be size 46 to 48. When Macy's and J.C. Penney stopped carrying my size, there was
Yeah,
a
yeah,
point
yeah.
where I was able to find. There would be like I would have to go through every single layer of pants to see if there was 146 in there, right? You know what I
Right,
mean?
right on the bottom.
Bottom or on the end, right? or a lot of times it had holes in it, and you still take it, right? You
Sure.
know, what are you gonna do?
That's frustrating, man.
Yeah, yeah, and then one morning I woke up and it's like, that's it. I don't care. I've had all the candy I wanted. I had anything I wanted to eat. I've had everything in my life I wanted to have. What did it? Of course, if I would have controlled myself in moderation, it would have been easier. But I didn't. So guess what? I stopped everything. I Within a
It's
year.
either a hard yes or a hard no with you, huh?
Yes, hard no. It's like
Yeah.
that's it.
There's no middle ground. It's either
There's
a
no
hard
middle
yes or
ground.
a
Yes
hard
or no.
no.
Let's do it. Let's do this movie. Let's go. Let's get film done, right?
Yep. All right. I like your style.
I don't smoke. I uh, I never drink. I would occasionally drink, but I haven't had a drink in 10 years. Not because I had a problem. I never cared to drink back then, right? But I did because I used to go out, right?
Sure, sure.
So I haven't had alcohol in 10 years. The only candy bar I eat, and it's only been my director and friend, very good friend Valeria, said to me, why don't you try Snickers? That's not too bad. If that's the worst thing you could eat, that's what are you worrying about?
I really thought you were either going to say either a Baby Ruth or 100 grand.
Embark on your unique financial journey with Mid-Hudson Valley Federal Credit Union. Your aspirations, your milestones. We're committed to guiding you every step of the way. Whether you're saving for a dream home, planning for retirement, or seeking to consolidate debt, trust MHV to provide personalized solutions tailored to your needs. Our comprehensive range of products and services, coupled with expert financial advice, empowers you to make informed decisions and achieve your goals. Visit us online at mhvfcu.com to discover the tools and resources available to help you navigate your financial landscape with confidence and clarity. Your journey starts here.
And she was right. Every morning I have a Snickers bar.
And it just so what? Okay, so let's like so I mean, like I heard of Jerry and the Subway diet, and so
No.
what happened with the Snickers bar here?
So the Snickers bar is only recent, but prior to that, we'll get to the Snickers. But prior to that, I cut 95% of all the food. Anything that comes in a box, I do not eat. Still to today, anything that comes out of a box, I do not eat. If it's in a box, canned tuna, I'll eat. Right? I mean, I get that. Olive oil, of course, I'll have that. That's in a bowl. But anything that's in a box that's processed, I will not eat. I will not touch. Um, Anything that was wrong with me disappeared overnight. E- Everything that was wrong, my back would hurt, my knees would hurt, I would cough, I would get rashes. In the summertime, it would be so hard for me to walk because I would have rashes between my legs, right? So the
Oh,
friction,
the friction.
of my legs in the summertime would scorch the thighs, and I couldn't even walk. It was burning me.
That's rough, man. I'm sorry.
No, no, thank you. But it needed to happen for me to learn. There was no way around it, right?
That's fair. Yeah.
And diabetes, I was borderline with diabetes at that point.
Yeah.
Okay. Nosebleeds,
Really?
backache, back pains. Anyway, a lot of issues, knees, out of breath, everything, right? Once I lost all the weight because I was playing basketball as well, I was eating right and all that. Everything that was wrong with me, everything gone, everything. It's like there's no trace. And because I did it the right way, without cheating, and what I mean by cheating, I mean I ate. I didn't starve myself.
It's just not like overdoing it, but like mixing up all different styles of food, and then
Correct.
it's like, how do you process all that together?
Correct. And you know how, and this is what I think. This is my take. I didn't have any loose skin. A lot of times when you're that heavy, you have a lot of loose skin, right?
Sure.
And then you need surgery.
Stretched out.
You need surgery to cut that off. I didn't have any of that because I believe that I did it the right way, meaning that I ate and I exercised a lot. So I let my body shrink itself naturally while I was exercising and eating right.
Okay.
If I just starved myself or didn't have any diet and barely did any exercise, I believe I would have all the heavy skin left.
Yeah, sure.
But because I was playing basketball 7, 8 hours a day on weekends,
Really? All right. So you were getting some mobility and
Oh yeah, I was getting. I mean, and yeah, absolutely. And then I would play out basketball at night. And the trick is to play sports, at least basketball in my case, with people that are at least half your age.
okay. So you want to keep up with them?
You have to do that. There's no way around that. I would play with high school kids and college kids.
So that competitive energy would just bring back that
Yes.
under you.
So of course I would get smoked. So what? You know? But within a year, I'm like, okay,
You can play.
this is called the baby skyhook. You know? Uh,
Okay.
that's the 1980s era. Okay.
Right. All right.
That was Magic Johnson's baby skyhook, right? He got it from Kareem with the skyhook, right? They called his
Yeah.
baby skyhook. So
Okay.
I have a video on my YouTube channel playing basketball showing me hitting all the skyhooks from 3 pointers. I would do a skyhook from a 3 point line, and I would hit it. Now it doesn't. I don't hit it all the time, but I would say I'm a good 30 to 40% hitting a skyhook from a 3 point line from any part of the court, all around the court.
You got muscle memory, man. If you're just hitting that naturally now.
I mean, it doesn't fall all the time, but it is muscle memory. There's no question about that. No question about that. And so I lost all that weight. Then COVID came, and then I joined the gym for a couple of years just to get strong. Because I lost so much weight that I was quite skinny, right? But I really had no muscle. So let me go to the gym and build some muscle.
Kind of just come back in the other direction and just fill in all the gaps and just start
Fill
feeling
in the
like
gaps. Still, I wanted to be lean still, but a little bit more muscle, right?
sure,
and,
sure.
And in New York, like in the wintertime, you can't do anything. So I joined the gym.
Yeah,
Then
right.
then COVID hit. I'm like, oh man, now what am I going to do? So once COVID hit, I started using the gym outside. I used to go to scaffoldings. That's when my video started. I started videoing myself working out on the scaffoldings outside. That's how it all started. All right.
Yeah. Make
And
those
then to make it fun for myself, I would play music. And then to make it fun for myself, I would make storylines while on my own. I would make storylines working out, on the scaffolding if it rained or whatever. I don't know, whatever came up.
Sure.
And over time, it evolved. Over time, with the help of Valeria, it evolved into going to places, scouting, looking for ideas, see what we can do, take the song, listen to the lyrics, and so on. And Born USA was part of the whole deal. Was one of the many videos I did this year. This year I did about 5, 6 videos. This year I did about.
Okay.
And each video took me about 2 months to make. Right.
All right. Yeah. You're coming up with a story and you're being patient.
Right. Again, you're by yourself, right? You have to carry everywhere. You have to carry the tripod by yourself. And then a lot of times you have to be careful today too, because when I first started with the COVID times, it was great in terms of
Nobody was around.
nobody was around, and a lot of the places that were closed, they were closed, but you could still go in there. So I was able to film in many areas where today you wouldn't even be allowed near. Right? I went to many historical places to film inside. I was able to get in.
That's
Right?
cool.
And film. So those were, and then you didn't have to worry about people blocking your shot. And what I mean by that is like you put the tripod in place, right? You're by yourself. So the tripod is by itself now. There's no one around it. You do what you have to do, but you hope no one's going to walk in front while you're doing that. Right? So today, that's the big issue today is, people don't watch and you're filming and, they have they walk in front. They don't know what's going on either, right? It doesn't matter, right? And then it's like, oh man, I did something great and now I got to do it again. But, so 1 hour, in 1 hour, I could do like maybe 4 shots because I keep redoing the same shots over and over and over until I get the right one.
I understand. Yeah.
You see, because I'm by myself. Again, I'm by myself.
You got to go back. You watch it. And be
I
like,
have to go back and watch it. How did this come out? Okay. Oh man, this person blocked this frame. Oh, I got to do it again. And when you're doing calisthenics on the scaffolding, it can be very tiring because on the fourth try, you look a lot weaker than the first try, right?
Okay, well, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Right. So sometimes I have to like speed up the frame to make it look
Oh, I see.
to make it look like the first one.
Yeah,
Like the first one, I do it fast, right? Because I only
sure.
got 2 seconds to do it, right? But by the time if all those fails because there's interruptions in the middle, by the time I do the fourth or the fifth one, I'm like, you know what I mean? So
That's a lot of takes.
I do it slow, then I just speed it up. That's all. You know what I mean?
It's all technique. If you master that, going half speed, then you know what, maybe in the duration and the endurance will kick in a little bit better. But I respect the commitment.
So yeah, and again, and I tell you what a challenge is. One of the challenges in filming these videos, and it's the truth. I'm going to say it. I have no problem saying it. Is when you have to go to the restroom.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves. Like okay, last
They,
resort, what are we doing?
and I tell you, in New York City, I don't know what's going on, but they just don't allow you to go to the bathroom. Even if you buy something, it's only for staff, the bathrooms. It's becoming more and more of a thing I've noticed here in New York City, where bathrooms are only for staff. It's, of
Yeah,
course, the department stores, those are good, right? Department stores are great. But any coffee shops, many are good, but a lot of them don't. Uh,
I think sanitation is a pretty big issue.
Very big, so it's like, and you by yourself and you're out there 8, 9 hours. What do you do, right? So a lot of times I'm very careful with what I eat and what I drink because I don't want to be caught. It's happened a few times. A lot of my movies, a lot of my films have been filmed in Central Park. So thanks to Valeria, she was able to identify all the bathrooms in Central Parks to go to.
All right. So yeah,
But a lot of times, they're out of order. They don't work. You go there and it's like out of order. I'm like, oh, where's the next one? Where's the nearest one now?
Well,
Uh,
in Central Park, did you go down that giant long pathway with the trees overlapping, and at the end is the giant fountain at the bottom of the...
yes, yes, yes. There's a name for that, and I always forget the name.
I know yeah, I know because there's a great bathroom there that I used.
It's the one next. There's where the concert hall is, right? That.
There's some sort of very old school like opera column
Yes,
concrete thing right over there.
correct.
Yeah, it's in that same block
Yeah, I think the bathrooms are down the stairs. I think if you go somewhere, but I filmed there a couple of times. I filmed that arch. I was under that arch there. I filmed there a few times. It's on my YouTube channel. It's there. But yeah, Central Park was a very, very, very profitable in terms of making films because every section looks different a lot. So I could tell a lot of different stories in different sections of Central Park.
And were you focused around like a certain character when you actually filmed? Like this is this character, or is it your interpretation with the music, or is it more centered around the space that you're in?
It's the number one is the interpretation with the lyrics of the music, with the lyrics.
Okay.
Strictly the lyrics. The lyrics comes first, and then the ambiance, the location. What we do is I want to try to find the location that matches the lyrics of what I want to tell. All right.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So Central Park was definitely, and Central Park has so many different areas, so many different spots that you could tell so many different stories with many different songs. It's very wonderful, very wonderful. I did another one at Central Park. I did was the song "Don't You Forget About Me" by the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, the Breakfast Club song.
I did a video using some of that. I went back to my high school
Oh, you did?
to also shoot a quick film in front of the school. The school it was on holidays, so it was perfect. There was no one there. I was able to do what I wanted to do. And I filmed in Central Park. But yeah, so like I said, it's a hobby. It doesn't pay, of course. Like I said, these songs are not mine. Okay. I'm grateful that I can still use them because the owners of these songs allow them to be used from YouTube. Okay. So as long as it's played from YouTube, it's fine. You're good to go. Right.
Oh, I see.
You don't get paid, but you could use them. As long as you don't show the video of the song. Very, very big thing, right? So you can use the song itself. You can use the
Okay.
song itself. You can use the lyrics and all that with your video on
Right.
YouTube, not monetized, but you feel free to do it. Great. So, and that's why it's that's why it's a hobby, and it's a wonderful hobby that I'm able to do it. You know,
And was this the first time you ever got into a film festival?
uh, that well, yours happens to be the first one I applied to.
Oh, is it really?
Yes,
Oh,
just by
no kidding.
chance.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. I mean, I applied to others, um, but I don't even know why I applied to them. I just applied for other things. But yeah, no, yours was the first one I applied to because it was local. It's like, okay, it's New York, it's perfect. Let me give it a shot.
well, that's the name of the game for us. Like, why not? Like, just keep it local, keep it simple. There's more than enough people in New York, so I mean, it's not a matter of volume. But let's see who could actually do this. We're gonna work with
And
some people
and,
down the
and
road.
also the good thing about what I do is 99.9, I would say 95% of my videos are all filmed in New York. All of them.
Oh boy, well, thanks for telling me that. So that means you're probably gonna have a couple like coming into the Triborough down the road. We have a lot of people coming back over the last 2 years coming back.
Coming back to film.
Well, no, like we're on season 3 of our premiere and
Okay, okay, okay.
award ceremony. So for the whole festival, like it's we're celebrating New York City, New York based or New York
Yes, 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 yes,
related
yes.
films, and the filmmakers, the majority of them, like grew up and are still living in the area. Some were born here, but they don't live in the county or the state anymore, but they still qualify because they either filmed parts of their movie in New York, things like that. Where as long as it qualifies and kind of meets the, I guess, the standards, then yeah, let's take a look.
And then when I saw Astoria, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm in Woodside, like I'm like right here,
Oh, down the block.
Yeah, but then I saw Astoria. On top of that, I used to hang out in Astoria all the time. I mean, like there used to be a club there called this Silver Screen.
I know the name,
Yeah,
but
Silver Screen, and that's where they used to play freestyle music.
was that closer to 40th Avenue in Long Island City?
No, it was close. It's close to Northern Boulevard in the corner. I forgot. I forgot.
Under the L?
No, Steinway. I believe it's almost on Steinway Street.
Oh, right at that junction bridge to get over into I think Ridgewood on the other side.
No, no, it's not. It's on Northern Boulevard,
Okay.
around the 40s, like close to Northern Boulevard in the 40s.
I think there's a Spanish restaurant over there on the corner now.
It got renamed a few times. That place. It got renamed.
That must have been it then, because it was literally like only like not even a block from the subway. So like that little spot right there is the R train.
And then there was another big club back then called Papagallos.
Papagallos. How far back are
Yeah.
you thinking right now?
We talk about the 80s.
All right. Yeah, I wasn't even born until
No,
87.
I figured that. I figured, I
And I
figured that.
wasn't born in Astoria. I was born in Brooklyn. Like Astoria, my journey started, I think. I got introduced to Astoria. Day one, I remember it. It was actually it was either March 5th or March 6th of 2012. I was at the Madison Square Garden. Uh, I was watching Van Halen perform at the Garden
Okay.
in early March of 2012. I didn't have a place to crash that night, so I stayed at a girl's house in Astoria, and that was my first day like in Astoria. So that was all of a sudden, boom, for day one.
That's it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it looks different, definitely different today. But I remember Papagallos, that club. If you wanted to see the nicest cars, you would go and check out that place. You just stand in front of the place all night. You would see Lamborghinis and Ferraris.
Really?
Yeah, it was a very high. Papagallos was a very high-end club, you could say. Not in terms of the price to get in and all that. That was just the same price as everywhere else. It's just it had that reputation that of a clientele where many ultra rich will go there. That's really what it was. Uh,
Okay.
and so Papagayos and silver screens I used to go to quite often. I don't know if you know what freestyle music is.
Freestyle?
Yeah.
What, dancing? Or is it like more of
It's dancing. It's dancing. Yeah, it's a very famous in the Latino and Italian community, and and back then in the Greek community as well. You know, Latinos, Italians, and Greeks. We used to listen to freestyle all the time in the 80s and mid 80s to early 90s. Then
I
it
was
just
gonna say like around the rock and disco transition period was the early
yeah
80s, and then all of a sudden,
yeah
I
from
guess
disco it transitioned from disco. Disco ended I think the late 70s, early 80s. Depends. And but yeah,
it must have been fun because it's such a it's such a pop culture phenomenon where everybody was kind of like getting groovy with it, and just kind of like really capitalize on it and contributing to it, singing, whether it was dancing, and then it became like, even like it's a thing about movies now. It's like a totally like a
oh
character
yeah.
itself.
I mean, like I was I talk often to Valeria about this, how today, no hate, there's no hate here,
Oh no,
but today there's the creativity today. I mean, like, I
I
mean,
agree.
I don't know, like, I mean, like, I make, granted, I use other people's music, but I feel like my creativity is quite pretty good because I don't sit in a room like today. The issue that I have today with a lot of the videos to TikToks and the IGs and even the shorts and all that, it's all centralized between what the ad could do, what the effects you got on the phone, and one room in your house. That's it. And then you just mix stuff up as you go. Like I just there's no what's the word? The quality isn't there. And to me, quality is more important than quantity, which is why it takes me 2, 3 months to upload to a video, even 4 months sometimes, because quality to me is so much more important. And granted, it, it doesn't the views don't come a lot of times. Then I don't care. I don't care if the views don't come. I'm not doing it for the views. I'm doing it for myself. I'm doing it for the hobby. And importantly, and very important as well, is I'm doing it to respect the artist of that song, right? I'm not gonna come out. I'm not gonna make a video and make a fool of myself, and then make a fool with the song itself. I'm not doing that. Especially classic songs, like songs that have tested time, right? So it's
Yeah,
my job. It's my job and duty as an artist, as a filmmaker, to put the commitment and respect that it deserves
yeah, that's
in
fair.
those films. And that's why, I work hard and I write down and I study and I look and I scout and I go to different places and I spend money if I have to and putting it all together because I want to make sure it's done right, you know. So going back to like in terms of the creativeness today, I'm being creative in my own way uh, by committing myself and doing the best job possible that I can in giving you my interpretation of what the song means to me,
Yeah.
right? As opposed to giving you an interpretation, sitting in a room and I don't know, doing a 20-second clip and using effects on the phone, right?
Well, yeah. I mean,
I'm
you
saying
can
right,
almost
right.
create anything, and now with AI,
Anyway, I
I
know you
think.
didn't. That's right, AI. I forgot about
Well,
that.
and and you're like an IT guy, a technical background. You can
Yeah,
kind of see where like this could or could like, kind of what it is. And like, you kind of think maybe that even though AI it has some usefulness, but there's going to be something about the quality of the work that's going to be that'll it'll just never quite be of good quality because it's in like it's lacking that humanitarian element.
correct. I think AI, AI is good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, like, it definitely has its positives, but I feel like when people use AI for their projects, filmmakings, and all that, it all looks the same. It has like a similarity. Like I don't see like a uniqueness that because when something comes out of the human mind, it's unique. Like that's it. But when something comes out of the AI, well, it was programmed somewhere. Like it can be that unique.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Like I mean, like, and then if many people use the same search words to create something, AI will have similar responses, right? And all that work will be very similar. But and that can happen with the human mind as well, where if I say a couple of words and you say a couple of words, we may have a similar take on what it means, but our ideas portraying it to the real world could be most likely completely different a lot of times.
I couldn't agree more because
You know?
one like little festive idea that I thought when we first started the Astoria Filmmakers Club is just to get an idea of not just like how people watch their work, sure, but what if we had just like one page challenge where this is the text, this is the scenario, it's open to interpretation, a couple prop ideas, not a 48, it could be it's similar to a 48-hour film festival, but just to get a real specific idea on how people interpret the exact same story in a matter of speaking differently and how it changes the story altogether.
I I tell you, like I like I like AI, but I don't know what it's going to do to the movie, to the film, to the Hollywood. I don't know what it's going to do to the movie industry. I don't know. I don't know. A lot of times you see videos today, and you don't even know if they're real or not. You just, I think I could tell, like if something is too sharp and too just perfectly, and you know it's not real, right? Like what, going back to the Superman that we talked about earlier. Like when you watch Superman, I think is a perfect example. The first one, even the second one, Christopher Reeve, the first Superman movie. Like like the action shots are real in the office. You know it's real. You know the substance behind it. You know what I mean? But with AI, it's like it looks. How can I say like I'm not gonna say that it looks like a comic book, but it looks like a cartoon, half realism, half.
It's got that element of like something like that off.
It's got the element of if I see with my real eyes, it does not look like that. But if I see the movie Superman, the first one with Christopher Reeve, with my real eyes, my eyes will portray it just like that.
I see.
Like when I go outside into the sun and I look at the buildings, right? My eyes view it in a certain way. My brain processes it in a certain way. And a lot of the movies from the 70s and 80s look identical to how I would see it if I was actually outside looking at it. All right. But today, the movies, when you look at it, it's like, to me, it doesn't look real. I don't know. There's something off. There's something off, and that's all I could say. I mean, I don't know what else to
Like
say.
maybe with are we overusing green screen too much, or it's just maybe
Or maybe even the way it's used. I don't know. Maybe even the way green screen is used, right? Like, do we actually even use green screen today? Do we actually use the green screen, or do we have something virtual that makes it the green screen?
I imagine that we still do. I've seen these sound stages with these tablets where you could actually create a backdrop digitally and have your almost like a 360 view of a character just doing something in the script or whether like
And yeah,
walking or something like that, and they could create the illusion of distance and The actor, for example, could be walking like in a very, very wide circle, but it looks like they're walking straight because the tablets behind them are showing the camera angle that of which like uh, where they're not actually breaking the 180-degree rule, things like that.
Yeah.
It's all like a digital backdrop instead of green screen, where it's actually just like a monitor playing in the background, but you can't really see where they all end. But they could be by the hundreds in the background behind.
Welcome to Happy Corner. This project strives to make safe housing areas for stray cats at an affordable price. It's so easy to put together that even your children could have fun making one. Help keep cats and other animals safe with their own little Happy Corner homes. You can help this project become a reality by donating to the GoFundMe page. Happy Corner homes are a great way to show those animals in need it's okay to be happy.
Okay.
So instead of like painting a backdrop or
I get
like,
that. I get that. I mean, like I know, like with software, you could do green screen too with the software. With software applications, you could actually do a virtual green screen today as well.
oh yeah. And then
You
it's
know?
just that's those fine details. Like I got like this little background right here. Like the only thing you can't see is my wall behind me, which is just a wall, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like sometimes I really like in terms of background for me, I like to use my real background. It's like, this is what you see, this is what you get. Like I mean, of course, if I was like in a closet somewhere and maybe I would use a background, but it's like,
Well, once we get a podcast studio, if we're still doing this down like a few years from now, where we could actually have a real home base and have like genuine
yeah.
conversations across
I
from
know what
each
you're
other.
saying. I know what you're saying. Yeah. I definitely, and same thing with me in terms of if this grows any further in terms of stability, in terms of opportunities on the areas, or other things I could do. Then of course I would upgrade all my equipment. I would upgrade, you know, technology wise. Maybe I won't be using a phone anymore, and the clarity of my videos may be even better, right? You know
I
what I mean?
understand.
But it is for now. It's just a hobby, and I like it that way because you ever find yourself starring something as a hobby, you love it so much, right?
Okay.
Then you start getting paid for it, and then you start hating it, right? You know what I mean? You start
That's
getting paid
exact,
for it because now
honestly, that's exactly like how it started for me. Like I remember in 2009. Yeah, like yeah, it was 2009. I did my first short film. I got cast in it. It was called Village Music. Went to college, studied my ass off. Really started to like really appreciate this, and I understood it, you know. And then when I hit the real world, I couldn't get a job to save my life, you know, and
the feeling, yeah.
it was just like, it was just like after that 4 years of like intense training, like the 3.5, 4 years later of just like, hitting the grindstone with very little to no help, and it's like, what the hell did I just do all that work for? Where's this all
Yeah.
going? And it got
Yeah.
like there was it kind of it didn't come back and bite me in the butt, but it kind of just elevated me because I did have a very angry day on the job where I did hate it to the point where I was only getting background work. And I'm like, this just, it's taking the joy out. I can't even like come up with a character or explore the script. I don't even have one. So I would just kind of like,
Yeah.
not improvise, but I would just take in the scene and I would work off of that. So this one time, I was asked to be an orderly on the set of The Affair. I think it was season 2, episode 5.
Oh, okay.
And this goes back in like I think the spring of 2015, right around that time, summer 2015. And I remember like Noah Holloway, I think or whatever the character's name was. It was the day they went to a Yankees game and the son was really sick and vomiting green. And I was an orderly in that scene, but the whole time I was literally just on my clipboard doing independent activity, talking to the other actors when we weren't actually doing a take, saying, if you could guess why you here, like, are you sick or something like that? Okay, good. Just gives me something to work with. And if I'm going back and forth, I want to look like I know what I'm doing. So what ended up happening was I even met this little kid named Travis. You couldn't see him because he was sitting down behind another actor, but you saw me walk up to him and I just smile at him. He had a broken arm. You couldn't even see that. It was all wrapped up, but he didn't really have a broken arm. But there was some real work put into this, but
Yeah.
unfortunately you couldn't see all of it. So what happened that day was long story short, me and another background actor, we were instructed to go get a Gertie. So we went out, we grabbed it, we pulled it right in. But the doctor took a moment and he grabbed me by the arm just to turn me and just give me instructions. And he said, take him to Bay 4. And I said, copy that. Excuse us. And it wasn't even in the script. Like I improvised it. But the director decided to keep that because it didn't make sense for it not to be in the script. And so I went from like a $70 background day to a $905 day player.
Just because of that.
Just because of that. And I'm like, and I was literally that day beyond pissed off where I didn't care. I even deliberately tried to get fired. I was beyond fed up. And then what bites me in the ass is that good. You just got a promotion. Fuck. And then it's like, it's not like a SAG must join, but I became now qualified to actually join the union that I dedicated 4 years of my education and training towards already, but it didn't count until I stole a line.
Until you stole a line. Yeah.
And so it's like, what a load of crap, man.
The thing is, I tell this to my daughters all the time. It's like, college is fine, but it's not, college doesn't matter. It's what's in your head that matters and what you do with it, and a lot of times it's like, you could go to school, for 4, 5, 6 years. And if you just follow what everybody else does, how can you be better than anybody else if you're going to follow what everybody else does? You have to do your own thing. You got to get out and do your own thing. And that's why with me, it's like, I love what I'm doing. I enjoy it, but will I enjoy it if someone tells me, no, you know what? We don't like it this way. Like, oh, okay, well, all right, well, maybe I'll think twice about it if someone pays me a lot of money for it, otherwise I'm doing it my way. You know what I mean? And that's why it's a hobby. And I'm lucky for it to be a hobby because I've been in the IT world for 30 years. Right. So I've been working in major corporations for the last 30 years, supporting the IT senior executives of the firms. In my bio, I think I wrote something like, by day, I'm an IT senior executive. By night, I'm a videographer.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
That's me. That's me. Right. I'm lucky that I could do this as a hobby and I don't have to rely on living off it, right? Otherwise, I'll be in a poorhouse, right? I mean, there's just no way you can, especially the way I do it, right? Because
undoubtedly,
I would have no rights in getting paid for it, right? Rightfully so. I don't expect to be paid for this, I'm just so grateful that I'm allowed to do this through YouTube. That's exactly what it is. I'm allowed to do this through YouTube. It's a wonderful platform, and people go bonkers over views and all that. I'm like, sometimes I look, it's like, okay, this, and the thing is, with videos on YouTube, I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason why a video does well or not. There's no rhyme or reason. I just don't know. I won't tell you.
And then next thing you know, you get a few thousand hits.
Yeah, I wouldn't even tell you, because all my videos take such a long time to make that I don't let it bother me. In the beginning, of course, it did, but I don't let it bother me that, it's only got 1,000 hits after 3 months worth of work, right? You know what I mean? 3 months worth of work.
I only get 5 or 6 likes on some of my things.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't bother me. I only post sometimes because I feel like, all right, why not? And it's not like, I wouldn't even call it a hobby. It's more of like, probably by now it's more of an addiction than anything. I just I'm not addicted to the attention because I don't get any.
and I tell you one thing, another reason why I'm doing this too, and it's a big part, and I forgot to mention this, can't believe I didn't, is I'm doing it for my girls, my daughters. I want them to remember me in a positive way, that your papa, in his 50s, busted his ass and stayed in shape and worked hard. And
he didn't tap out.
Didn't tap out and told stories. And you could show this to your children for generations to come.
Right? I really hope it does stick around. I think about that sometimes because
I hope so too. Yes, I hope so too.
because this is actually a very useful technology, the digital space where, people could actually leave a bit of a legacy behind. Whereas,
Yes,
the Egyptian
yes.
periods were only hieroglyphics, and there was only like a couple of people,
That's right.
compared
That's
to
right. That's
the
right.
billions that are there. But it's like, I think there's more honor in it where we actually take into account.
I, the only concern is like, how do you separate the the irrelevant info and videos on a platform such as YouTube from the important ones that are relevant for the future? Like, and do you want to even separate the two, right? I mean, because how
There's
would you
something there.
find the relevant stuff that would help, you know,
Oh, this
generation
this
coming
this is
up?
God's territory that you're talking about, where when it comes to orchestration, because it's like my people perish due to lack of knowledge. So there's so many things about myself that I learned in the last 3 years that I didn't know while I was like going to acting school. But I needed all those things
Yeah.
fundamentally to actually carry me forward. Because even if I had everything I know right now, then I wouldn't be able to apply it to anything because the timing would have been wrong.
Yes, timing is everything. You're absolutely right. I mean, actually, timing is everything, and that goes with everything. In the financial world, it's all about timing, right? Think about it, right?
Even that, well, I know, and that's like, well, that's so.
Even getting a job, is all about timing, right?
I know, like
Even
I
getting a
got like
part, even getting
and
a movie
that's
part.
well, that's why you really need to have faith because you have to remember, like I wrote something a few months ago. I forgot what newspaper did an article about me or whatever, but I really wanted to just give people hope and be like, not to be dismayed by the illusions of life because you have overcome everything that you've ever encountered prior to today, you know? And there's sustainability in your life that you're probably overlooking. And yeah, you might want more of this one thing because you don't want to go under the stress or the duress of not having that one thing that you really needed to avoid that painful thing.
Yeah.
Don't think of it that way because you might be redirected and corrected on going on the right path. It's not to like life isn't happening directly to you, it's happening for you because everything that you did learn, it's actually contributing to not only your survival and thriving long term, it's bringing you to your purpose and destiny and the divine orchestration of this thing we call life because you are not done yet. As long as you don't faint, tap out, and uh,
Yes, of course.
pass out, if you faint not, it'll like your reward is on its way.
And with what you're saying, incorporate that good, healthy habits, right? Because that's important. Because what I mean by good, healthy habits, like going back to eating right, staying healthy, because all the things you said are absolutely true and positive. But if the health is not there and the good habits not there, then
Oh
it
yeah, of
makes
course.
that pretty much impossible to achieve, right?
Well, you need self-discipline because
Self-discipline is
like
very, very important, right?
you
Self-discipline.
don't like there's no like how does it benefit you if you hurt yourself? And when just like something as simple as candy, whether you drink too much, whether you smoke too much, like you know better. You do. You might not have, like it could be an addiction, you might not have a choice, but what does it really benefit you to hurt yourself? Stop hurting yourself.
You know, it's it's interesting you say that because yeah, it's very easy to say that, but I've hurt myself for it was almost 25 years.
Yeah.
I was hurting myself for 25 years. So let's see, 20, 30, yeah, 25, 27 years. I was hurting myself by doing all those things. I worked my ass off. I was working hard. And at the same time, in the IT world, and at the same time, I was eating and doing all that stuff. And, you
Take
know,
its toll.
take its toll. It took its toll,
Of
and
course.
now, like I'm gonna tell you something. Um, there is no way, there's absolutely no way that if I never lost all that weight, I would have been doing these videos. Not because I was lacking the creativity. No, that's the creativity was always there, but because physically I couldn't do it. Right?
Mhm.
It takes tremendous physical effort to do what I do when I make these videos. For one, like the amount of walking, the amount of running, the things that I have to do right? Day in and day out. There's just no way I could have done that at 300 pounds. There's just no way. There's no way.
Right. No, I did. I got the heaviest I've gotten over the last few years was 260, but yeah, I just said I made a decision to stop hurting myself, and I think like what I dropped over 40 pounds so far this year just
That's
from
awesome. That's awesome.
it's just like good diet, like
Yeah.
not drinking anymore. My back had improved to the point where I could exercise a little bit more and just like really just keep my like do better than just
It's
maintenance and just like prevent. I can't jog yet. Like I got some sort of injury on my iliosciatic joint or something like that. They said, and that's what was causing all my back problems. And it's like, oh, all right. So I've been focusing on that, chiropractor, all that good stuff.
it's amazing what losing weight does, huh? It really is. It's like doctors should be up front. Lose weight. That's your answer. Like that's
Well, did you ever try a cleanse? Because that's what kickstarted off for me. Once I got all that crap out of my system.
well, yeah, it definitely starts with the cleanse. Like, it starts with all that stuff. Sure, sure, sure. I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, once that came out, I was able to actually just get, oh, all right, less cravings and like, okay, back to normal. And then just like just within 2 weeks, over 20 pounds was gone in the first 2 weeks.
That's right. I remember when I
Inflama-
started losing weight.
Inflammation went down,
Yes,
everything went down.
yes.
I slept through the night. I woke up being like, it feels like like I actually remembered waking up where I was in middle school, and it's just like, oh, I feel great waking up. And I literally went back to middle school. My head was so clear.
Listen, waking. Right now. I'm about 180 pounds, give or take.
Oh, I wish I'm at 210.
Right, and like I said, I used to be size, but you seem like you have a lot of muscle in you. So I
I'm
don't.
a big, no, I'm like a
I
decently
wouldn't say
solid dude.
you look like a good 210. Okay, you
Healthy.
look a good 210. Right,
Yeah.
it's a good 210 look, healthy. So at least from my perspective, right? I mean, and the
Well, I got
eyes
a boxing
are fine,
movie
right?
I'm in right now, so I want to try to get as low and as lean as possible, at least for the character, and it's going to be done over the next few months. So yeah, I appreciate that, though.
No, no, absolutely not. But it's the truth, though. And no, I was gonna say, something. I forgot.
About the detox or the health, then
No, no, what was it? It'll come back to me. I don't know. It'll come back to me.
it'll come back to you.
It's age.
I and if it were maybe it wasn't that important, but if anything, text me and I'll throw it in the comments. We're running
It's
out of
fine. It's
time.
fine.
If anybody wanted to follow you and maybe get in contact with you, what's the best way for people to do
Yeah.
that?
So my YouTube channel is Undercover Pops.
Undercover.
Undercover Pops. Undercover Pops.
All right, when I post this on YouTube, I'm going to see if I could try and tag it and make sure like
Yes, it's there, and I've posted already. I have about 50 videos up there. 50 videos.
oh, definitely.
Every video has a short associated with it. Why not? Why not? Figure I'll do that. But there's 50 videos. Class, the old class, family oriented. Again,
Appropriate stuff.
appropriate. I don't
There
say
you go.
one,
I understand classy
I don't
stuff.
say I don't say one word. I don't speak. So you
Maybe
don't have to worry about me.
I should
You
try
don't
that
have
for
to
my
worry about anything, right?
I should try that for my podcast then, because it seems like the more I talk, we're barely breaking 50 views every time, but I don't know. Maybe once we hit a couple hundred episodes, people will catch on. Be like,
It's you know what? It's like I know sometimes those views can be very demoralizing. They really can, like especially when you put in like so much time right now for yourself, for you to be here and create the podcast and put all that work into it. And then it's like you get like, 40, 50 views, but then you have some kid, doing something dumb on his chair in his bedroom and he's getting a million views, right? It's like, wait a minute, where is this world going to? You know what I mean? Like,
because it's almost like a guaranteed laugh where it's like you're gonna get like you're just gonna kids falling down or something. I see like I
guess
smile,
that's
laugh.
what it
I don't
is.
laugh at the pain, but it was just sort of like poor kid. Sorry, buddy.
I know. I mean, look, I too watch that, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like how many times can you watch someone? I mean, things. Anyway, whatever. But
You'd be surprised, like 19 hours of like I'm on my phone all day between like just working, catching up, running two businesses, so emails are constant, getting time. Like I had like 5 or 6 text messages during this podcast. I'm like, I'll get to you when I feel like it.
Sure, sure,
Most of my day
sure.
is just catching up from just throughout the day, just like keeping track, especially now we're in prime time because we might have we might have 3.5, 4 weeks of the film festival this year because the volume increased too much. And I'm like, okay, that's not all right, not a big deal. I don't have to do it in just 4 screening days. If I could push it to 6 screening days, that's fine. Let's
Yeah. And sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead, go ahead.
no. I was just saying, like, I don't have to like the one thing I realize is that um if I literally am setting the rules, I could literally, I could play with the frame of everything and just expand. I'm not gonna like not expand too much where we're wasting people's time. No, like you want to have that quality, you want to have the regiment, and if literally like if the volume is there this year where we got to extend it one weekend, who's gonna like I'm doing this for these people who are actually being a
Yeah,
part of this. So
yeah.
it's of no disservice to me to do it. This is what the ministry of the AFC actually is. So it is what it is.
And I tell you, I appreciate Astoria Filmmakers Club very much also because I love it that you could show the film through the YouTube channels. And that is like monumental because like for artists like me who only rely on YouTube to show our creativeness, right? There are not too many channels out there that would play it from YouTube because those are the rules and policies
I
that
understand.
you have to go by, right? I mean, yeah, you know what I mean? So I'm very thankful for you guys. I appreciate it very much. And you couldn't believe how happy I was when I saw that it was acceptable. Like, wait a minute, I had to check again. It was, the funny thing is, the acceptance was at 1 in the morning. I went to the bathroom around 3:30 in the morning. I was like, let me just check my phone. And I see an email. I'm like, oh, denied, I'm sure. It's like, no. No, actually, it's like, well, the first thing I said to myself was like, oh, they were very quick to deny this thing. Huh? Look at them. You know, so I'm going like, wait a minute, does it accept it here? It's like, oh my goodness, accepted. It's like, cool,
3 in the morning, eyes saying my eyes deceive me.
Yeah, my eyes were like, wait a minute. And I have a habit of not going on my phone, you know, at night, right? But when you don't have a job and you don't have to get up in the morning for work, does it really matter at that point if you look at your phone in the middle of the night or not? Like that was my thinking, right? Like, okay, so if I'm up for 2 hours, who cares? I can go back to bed at 10 a.m. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
It really made me happy to hear you say that because like I question sometimes like where's this all going, but I know that it's really giving people hope. I know that it's like giving people more than just an opportunity. It's preparing them for that opportunity as well because this is not the means to an end. No, this is the beginning of
no,
something
no.
else. Because there is another film on its way, and like we're developing species as we go. It's ongoing, and I think I forgot who said it, but the top of one mountain is the bottom of the next, so you got to just keep climbing.
Yeah, yes, that's true. Um, I love. I tell you, I just there's so many wonderful things you could do with today and with the technology that we have today. So many wonderful things you could do, and it's such a shame to a lot of times just waste it. Like if you put your mind to it and you put your feelings and your mind dedication, it's amazing what you could accomplish today with what you have around you. With what you have around you, like what we could do with our brains today because of the technology that's available, we could do wonders. And yet I feel like a lot of I just and I'm talking as a father now, yeah. So it's probably different for than me than most, right? And I tell this to my daughters. I have a 21-year-old daughter and 18, right?
All right,
And
they're ready for adulthood.
yes, yes. And my youngest one is going to cosmetology school now. College is not for her. I said, good for you.
Yeah, get
Good,
experience, like or
good for
like get a
you.
job, like feel.
Absolutely. And my other one is going to Hunter, and she's fluent in Mandarin, Chinese.
Mm.
Not because the mother was Chinese, but when she was young, I made her go to Chinese.
Learned.
I made her go to Chinese school when she was young.
Oh, then you're gonna actually love your segment because there's a film called The Calligraphy Lesson in your segment.
Oh,
That's
oh, oh,
That's a Chinese friendly
that's fantastic because my daughter's going to be there as
Oh,
well.
dude, this is all right. You guys are that is pure damn luck.
Oh my goodness.
It was the perfect amount of minutes that I needed to fill in just the gap a little bit better, but I think it's gonna really end. This is
Oh, that's
gonna be
fantastic.
good. I'm so glad. I was so worried about that because I wanted
That's
to do it for
fantastic. Yeah,
you as an experience.
my daughter has gone to China a few times already. She wants to be a teacher in China. She wants to teach English to
Oh,
Chinese.
ESL.
Yes, in China. She wants to work. She wants to work in China and teach. And she wants to learn. She wants to teach English to Chinese students in China.
Oh my God, this girl is gonna be a saint.
So, that's her.
Sweet, man. That is such a sweet. What a
Her.
very ambitious kid.
So that's her. And so
I respect the hell out of teachers, man. Like it's
oh my goodness,
that's so
teaching.
like I
That's
do. I've always respected teachers. I didn't like them growing up, but man, do I appreciate them and respect them now as an adult.
especially today when
I was a rough student, you know, I had it rough.
I think we all were. I mean, I wasn't. No, my goodness, like me too. I mean, like especially I think teachers have it harder today than back then because today the teachers also have to be the parents. Why do I say that? Because today
Yep.
you have both parents working now. They both
Yeah.
work. Mother and father are working. So what does that mean? That means that both parents are not home when the kids gets home from school, right?
Right.
So, the parents are not there to help with the homework or or whatever. So a lot of times the teachers have to be the parents today. And,
You can't have one parent with 30 kids.
that's exactly it, right? That's
That's
why
where you know
that's why
you're
it's so
really
hard. That's why it's
you're
so hard.
you're addressing a huge issue that's underlined, but that's why we got to make films about like real deal shit, like real issues,
Yes.
because we got like this is a problem and we're seeing
Yes.
the effects of it.
I mean, you know, one of the things, like I'm going to tell you something, undergroundish. What's the word? Between the lines, and this is talking from experience. Okay,
Okay.
companies around the world are praising family values first, family values first, and you hear it all the time. But the reality is, I don't believe it. It's true enough. I don't believe that I think a lot of the I think many companies preach family values as a PR stunt. I think that they really don't mean it. That's how because what it's a borderline. You have to be careful a lot of times with this, but it's borderline in the sense of like family values is very important to the life and to the employment to work in a company. I'm trying hard to explain myself, but as soon as you present yourself with a real life situation about the family values, there's always a problem getting off. Taking the day off, going. I have to leave early. So it's like well, you say it's family values, but you're not you're not actually how do you say
At
you're not
liberty.
you don't stand by it. You say, but you don't stand by it. Not all companies like that. But I've noticed, and I think that's what the problem. And I think that sort of goes. But I think that's related now to the teachers and the kids, right? So like it starts with a family. Like a family needs money to work, right? So it starts. So they have to work. But family values. If this family values of the company, then those values can be translated back to the kids when they come home from school, right?
Yeah.
But you see, it's like a circle. I think that's how I'm explaining it. I'm not.
The cycle.
Well, it's a cycle. Like if you really mean it, then stand by it and do it, right? So that this section that could be fixed as well. Like I think it's gone so bad because the fact that two parents have to work now as opposed to one.
Yeah.
And if both parents have to work, with almost no family values at the companies they work at, it's almost impossible for the kid to get any help at home. I think that's how I like to
You're
see it.
really raising a very, you're really raising a really good point. I understand what you're saying. And there was maybe if you go back and watch it, I did an episode with Sugar Ray. We talked a little bit about this, and I had some ideas, and we proposed a couple like really quick ideas. I know we're just running out of time. Where if we actually just we have to make some amendments to the standardized work week, and what constitutes like a full-time job versus a part-time job, and you're saying it's 40 hours or 25, and I'm like,
Correct.
hold on, like, so who just, yeah, that they decided that 100 years ago, but now you're not like, it's not a matter of wages, it's really a matter of timing, you
It's
know?
time. Time is more important than wages now, actually. It's like,
It's not even worth it to go to work because of like the cost of living, the expenses, and like this is all orchestrated, and I know it. Like, I'd really like to continue, but
you know, we
I
definitely
got an
something.
appointment,
Yeah.
but I want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me over. It's been an honor and a pleasure. And I'll see you in person
You're
next
definitely
month.
going to meet me soon. Just yes, before you go, I just really wanted to ask you one final question to wrap things up.
Yes.
And it's called The Right Words at the Right Time. And I started asking everybody this question because when I first started out acting, I was reading this book called The Right Words at the Right Time. It was a collective of interviews by all these household names that you would know today. But once upon a time, nobody knew who they were. They were either in high school, middle school, or college, or they just didn't get their big break in life. But at some point, they did kind of just cross this unknown threshold where they just became well-known figures, public figures, or whatever. So uh, I wanted to ask you the exact same question that they were all asked. Has anybody ever given you the right words at the right time that has always stuck with you, that just carried you through every single obstacle that you ever had to overcome, that got you through thick and thin? Or perhaps maybe do you have any words of your own that you would like to share for those listening?
Um, the only thing I could think, there's many, I'm sure I have many examples, but the one that always seems to be stuck with me is my dad. When, my dad passed away 22 years ago. And I think I've used that example before, but he used to say to me all the time, um, he used to say to me, it's not what's on paper that's important, but it's what's in your head and how you use it, right? So like it's like an analogy going to school. Like you could be an A student, but if you don't have world skills, if you don't have the skills to apply it in the real world, those book skills become useless. So like, what's another way to say it? It's like uh, you could be great with books. You could memorize everything about books, and you could read all the formulas, and or you could be proficient in theories and all that. But if you can't talk to the real world, and if you can't get along with the real world, then all that sort of goes out to the window. So uh, life skills as opposed to book skills, right? That's how I would say it. Meaning that your life skills and the way you communicate with people goes further than being proficient in books and memorizing all the theories that you want, because you can have all the A's in class, but those A's don't translate to success in real life. That's exactly what it is.
So your dad was more of a street smart type of guy?
Street smart, I guess, is the right word for that.
Yeah.
My dad, just like many of our fathers back then, they had limited education to a certain amount, right? And then they used their head, and they use street smarts, and
Yeah.
the common sense. Always don't forget common sense, right?
Yeah.
which seems to be
That's the biggest topic this year, I think. Common
right?
sense.
Common sense, right? But street smarts. I guess that's a slang that we use
Yeah,
here.
that's a
Street
New York
smarts.
thing. Like, I mean, like
You know,
street smart people in New York, where it's just sort of like more than just intuition. It's not just about what you know, but how you use it.
that's exactly it. It's how you use it and when to use it and when to use it, right?
Back to
How to use it
timing
and when
again.
to use it, right? Because it says it in the book to do it this way. Oh, just be careful by using it in the real world. Books don't have feelings. People do,
No, yeah, actually, that's very well said too. Books don't
right?
have feelings. People do.
Right? Right? So,
No, that's a good one, dude.
I just came up right now.
Did anybody ever tell you you look a little bit like Joe Rogan?
No, not at all.
Honestly, you look like his skinny cousin.
I don't know. I mean, like I trimmed it a little bit. I trimmed my beard a little bit more than I wanted to. Now that I look at it on camera.
Ah, bro, you look great. Nah,
I mean, like,
Joe Rogan Experience, great podcaster.
I mean, it's my first one.
Yeah, you did a great job, man.
Did I
Thanks,
do okay? I guess.
Patrizio.
I mean,
Bro,
I don't
you did
know.
so good. I'm so excited for you. I'm going to see you at the film festival.
I
We're
mean,
only a couple months away. If you need any help with anything, be sure to tell all your friends and family to come to the theater.
I will.
There's going to be a great experience. We're on season 3. We have a great idea of what we're doing.
Fantastic. And again, look, I appreciate everything. And again, my channel is Undercover Pops. You'll see it there. If you want, I can email you. I can reply to the
Oh
email.
yeah, absolutely. Please do.
Without intruding. A lot of times I don't like to send too many emails out because I just don't.
My job. It's my job to have emails.
But still. Again,
No, like I'm here to serve, man. If you ever need anything, don't hesitate.
no.
This is my thing.
Way too kind, sir. Way too kind. If you have anything else for me, I'm
Oh, that's a wrap, buddy.
okay. I thank you very much. And
Oh, you're very welcome. So you have yourself a wonderful day, and wherever you go and all that you do, always remember to never forget community, creativity, and joy.
enjoy. And I'm gonna end it like this because it's almost I don't know if you celebrate or not, but I always say this, whether you're Christian or not. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to
Merry
you too,
Christmas.
and a very happy New Year.
I wish everybody, every religion, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas. Well, it doesn't matter. It's a beautiful world. We should all celebrate each other.
Celebrate being alive. Be grateful to be
That's it.
anywhere. Happy holidays. And just it's okay to be happy out there, guys.
Yes. And I said, ci vediamo. Ciao, ciao.
Torniamo. Arrivederci.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno.